Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for checking out another episode of Kenny's Record Collection. Today, I'm going to be unboxing the reissue of Leeway's first demo, Enforcer. I believe this was never released on vinyl before. It was a cassette only in 1985 when the band was basically just starting out. So we'll get into it in a minute. Generation Records recently put this out. I've been holding it for a while because, believe it or not, this band is very, very special to me. And basically, since I was 14, they were really, really influential in my life. Crossover, hardcore, metal, thrash, whatever you want to call it. And they were one of the first bands I ever saw, like, as a young kid. And just the way they came across just said it all for me musically. So I'll talk more about that in a minute. I'll start the unboxing. I don't want to get too melancholy. So yeah, this came out in 85. The band was a lot different then. It was Eddie Sutton, rest in peace, on vocals. AJ Novello, guitar. The other two guys, I think it was like Sammy Okoa or Manny Okoa, and then I'll tell you in a second. I mean, I never saw them play. It was way before my time. I must have been 9 years old when this came out. Here we go. Leeway Enforcer. You see how the layout is like a cassette tape. So this came out in 1985. You see the tracks all wound up on their classic Born to Expire. Check out that photo. I guess that's AJ right there, and Eddie Sutton right there. Eddie Sutton, if you don't know, passed away probably maybe 7 or 8 months ago. And yeah, I've been meaning to do a Leeway episode since, but it's been tough. I don't even like talking about it. And Mikey Gibbons, who later became the lead guitarist in Leeway on, Born to Expire and Desperate Measures, he also passed away in this past year. So it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. I'm gonna put on the glasses. Really cool picture, man. Eddie must have been 17 years old, just going for it right there. AJ probably the same. 17, 18. On the back cover, you have dedicated to the memory of Edward Anthony Pomponio, Eddie Sutton, April 7th, 65 to April 19th, 2024. So yeah, heavy stuff for me. Check that out. All right, let me open this up. Generation, shout out for putting this record out. I think it was pretty limited. And I think it's a color. I don't remember. It's been so long since I ordered it, and like I said, I've been putting off opening it for, just sentimental. All right. So yeah, cool purple vinyl, man. I think it's purple. Tell me if I'm wrong. Very cool. I can't wait to listen to this. I'm very familiar with the demo versions of the songs. Really, really happy to have this. And, I'll definitely listen to it later. Just to go back, the first time I ever saw Leeway, I was 14 or 15 at L'Amour's in Brooklyn, New York City. That's where I'm from. L'Amour's was a club that if you were into hard rock, heavy metal, punk, hardcore, you knew about this place. Everybody played there back in those days. But Suicidal Tendencies was playing there. I think it was October 1990. And went to the show to see Suicidal. And White Zombie opened the show. White Zombie had, independent record out at that time. And they were good, but to me, that was just a wall of just chaos. I really didn't even get them at the time. And I'm not a big fan. But then the next band to come out just shut it down. First of all, Eddie, the singer, comes out. I thought he was like one of the Beastie Boys. Just total like hip hop style, just in your face with the crowd. He was just pretty much just getting everybody to just go crazy just by just his stage presence. Just like a street dude, like on the stage. Like he didn't seem like a heavy metal guy. Like he just had this vibe where you're just like, wow, like this guy is, he's streetwise. Like you could tell just off the bat. Little skinny guy too, but he had the presence to like move everybody. So that blew my mind. Like the next day I went out and I got the cassette of Born to Expire. Desperate Measures had not come out yet. It was slated to be released, but it just kept getting pushed back. Finally, it came out a few months later, and of course, I grabbed that. Saw them countless times after that, just any time locally that they would play. It always just, they did it for me. And my crew of friends, like, they were the band. Leeway was the band. Like, we were just, everything they did, we loved. And then, things happened where they lost members and the band switched up so many times. But when they lost Mikey Gibbons, as lead guitar player, it wasn't the same for me. But their two albums that they put out after that were great. Adult Crash and Open Mouth Kiss. Just different vibe, but they were great. So just let me show you what I have. This is a first pressing of Born to Expire on Profile Records. I get them confused. This is actually a promo, which I'm really happy to have. I knew someone a long time ago who had a spot as a DJ in a college radio station, and I was able to get this. And it's got the lyrics. Really cool. Originally, I had the cassette, and I don't believe the lyrics were included in the cassette. You got the white label, which is cool. Really, this album is just so ahead of its time. I mean, they had hip hop elements. They talk about PMA also. On one of the songs. It's just got this really. It's beyond like metal. It's like street music. If you look at the lyrics, like I could really relate to it as a teenager. It wasn't talking about dragons and, devils. And it was basically like what you see walking down the street or when you're on the train or, heavy duty, man. So, their second album, Desperate Measures, just it spoke even more to me. And, it's one of those albums, like it's for my friends and me, like this is like a reissue. The original of this on vinyl is very hard to come by. It was only released like in Europe. I think this is some colored vinyl. I'm not sure who put this out. I think it had something to do with maybe AJ from Leeway. He figured out a way to put these out with blue vinyl. Pretty cool. It's got the lyrics, which is great. And if you don't know this band, you gotta just give them a listen. And there's an inner in here also. I don't know what's on that. It's a lot of small writing, so me right now, I can't really get into it. So, over my life, I must have met Eddie Sutton, the singer, at least 5 to 10 times. Like, he would just pop up. The dude was just everywhere in New York City, Long Island, you know. He was all over. His mom lived not that far from where I live now, and I used to just run into him. And he was always cool, down to talk, you know, whatever. Humble guy, very, you know, he's always hustling too. You could tell he was just, you know, he was a street dude, you know. So they played, this had to be 5-10 years ago, not that far, in Amityville. You know, one of the other reiterations of Leeway. You know, Eddie was the only original member, but I had him sign this reissue, which is very cool. Is that upside down? There you go. So very, very cool. So it was 2016, so almost 10 years ago. Eddie Sutton. Yeah. I mean, I could go into stories just about me running into this guy randomly. Some of them I'm not even gonna, you know, I wouldn't even get into. But the guy was, he was out there, he was accessible. You know, he was an icon to me. You know, don't ask me what's on the cover of the newspaper. But I know these dudes, and I know, like, this is what, you know, means something. All right. All right, so a couple years ago, the man started looking very sick. I saw a show locally at a brewery, and a band called Butterbrain was playing. Members of White Trash, old school New York band that I loved as a kid. And they were playing with HR of the Bad Brains, the great HR of the Bad Brains. So I'm like, I gotta go to this show. So Butterbrain plays, and they're like, all right, we're gonna play Eye Against Eye, Bad Brains. This dude comes out singing. He had his hood up, pulled tight. All you could see was his face, and he had no hair on his face, no eyebrows. I'm like, who is this dude? So he comes out and he's going off for Eye Against Eye. And I lost my mind. Like, I didn't know who it was, but there was a great dance floor. I went crazy. A few minutes later, I find out it's Eddie Sutton. I did not even recognize him. And, you know, I was like, wow, the man, he's not well. So not that long after that, he had sort of like a GoFundMe, but he was doing his own thing. So he's like, I will write out lyrics for you, personal, you know, if you donate. So I'm like, all right, of course, let me do this, you know. So a couple months later, I get this back, you know. I'm not going to show you my address, but turns out he was living in the same neighborhood as me, like less than half a mile away. So yeah, heavy stuff, man. Heavy, bro, heavy. All right. So, you know, one of my favorite songs from Desperate Measures, "Make Me an Offer." It's just about record companies just doing bands dirty, and, you know. So he wrote out these lyrics. This is all handwritten. And this, I've been meaning to get framed. It's been heavy, man. So, really cool. So in May 2023, he wrote these out, less than 2 years ago. And he's been gone for, I don't know. It's almost a year or whatever. I can't even tell you. So, yeah. And he also personalized a little index card to me. Says, Kenny, thanks again for your patience and support. Message me when you receive this. Take care. Eddie Sutton. Yeah, it's crazy. Real heavy, man. Heavy. You know, local band, they struggled, man. I don't think they ever really got paid. They were just doing it for the love of the music, you know, to do a tour here and there. And, you know, as the guys got older, they had to duck out. A lot of guys got city jobs. I know Mikey Gibbons was a court officer. And, you know, he passed not that long ago. He actually produced a documentary about Leeway. You could find it on Amazon Prime, I believe. So, yeah, that wraps it up. I mean, if you're still with me right now, thank you for watching. You know, this was more like cathartic for me or whatever. I don't know. It's just crazy. Don't even, you know. Everybody's got their, like, band that they're, like, you know, they hit. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Subscribe if you can. Leave me a comment. Tell me how much you love Leeway. You know, if you got any good Eddie stories, you know, I could share them with you privately, whatever. All right. Thanks. I'll talk to you.